Rocking and rolling, our ship on the sea, rocking and rolling, with you and with me. Wind, come and blow us gently along. Mermaids, come guide us and sing us this song. Still waters, run deep. Mother of the fairy tale, take me by your silver hand, sail me in your silver boat, sail me silently afloat. Mother of the fairy tale, take me to your shining land. There was once an old castle in the midst of a large, dense forest, where an old woman who was a witch dwelt all alone. During the day, she changed herself into a cat or a screech owl. But in the evening, she took her proper shape again as a human being. She could lure wild birds and beasts to her, and then she cooked them for her dinner. If anyone came within 100 paces of the castle, he was obliged to stand still and could not move from the place until she bade him to be free. But whenever an innocent maiden came within this circle, she changed her into a bird and shut her in a wickerwork cage and carried the cage into a room in the castle. She had about 7,000 rare birds in the castle. Now there was once a maiden who was called Jorinda, and who was fairer than all other girls. She and a handsome young youth named Joringle had promised to marry each other. They were still in the days of betrothal, and their greatest happiness was being together. One day, that they might talk together in peace, they went for a walk in the forest. "Take care," said Joringle, "that you do not go too near the castle." It was a lovely evening. The sun shone brightly between the trunks of the trees and into the dark green of the forest, and the turtle doves sang mournfully in the beech trees. Their song was so sad that Jorinda wept now and then. She sat down in the sunshine and was sorrowful. Joringle was sorrowful too. They were as sad could be. When they got up and looked around, they did not know by which way they should return home. The sun was now half above the mountain and half under. Joringle looked through the bushes and saw the old walls of the castle were close at hand. He was filled with fear. Jorinda was singing, "My little bird with the necklace red sings, sorrow, 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 sings that the dove may soon be gone, sings sorrow, sorrow." Jug, 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 jug. Joringle looked for Jorinda. She had been changed into a nightingale and sang, "Jug, jug, jug." An owl flew 3 times round about her, and 3 times called, "Too-hoo, too-hoo, too-hoo." Joringle could not move. He stood like a stone, and could move neither hand nor foot, nor weep nor speak. The sun had now set. The owl flew into the thicket. And directly afterwards, there came an old woman, yellow and lean, with large red eyes and a hooked nose, the point of which reached to her chin. She mumbled to herself, caught the nightingale, and took it away. Joringle stood like a stone and could neither weep nor speak. The sun had now set. The nightingale was gone. At last, the old woman returned and said in a hollow voice, "Great you, Zachiel. If the moon shines on the cage, Zachiel, let him loose at once." Then Joringle was freed. He got down on his knees and begged the old woman for his Jorinda back. But she said he should never have her again, and she went away. Joringle cried and called and lamented, but it was no use. The nightingale was gone. At last, he went away. And came to a strange village where he kept sheep for a long time. He used to walk round and round the castle, but never too near to it. But one night, when he was sleeping, he dreamed of a blood red flower, in the middle of which was a large and beautiful pearl. That he picked the flower and carried it to the castle, and that everything he touched with the flower was freed from its enchantment. He also dreamed that by means of it he recovered his Jorinda. In the morning, when he awoke, he searched over hill and dale for such a flower. At last, on the 9th day, early in the morning, he found the blood-red flower, and in the middle of it was a large dewdrop as big as the finest pearl. He picked the flower and traveled day and night with it to the castle. When he got within 100 paces of the castle, he was not held fast, but continued on to the door. He touched the door with the flower, and it sprang open. He was filled with joy. He continued on to the courtyard and listened for the sound of the birds. At last he heard it. He continued on to the room from whence it came. And there was the old woman, feeding the birds in the 7,000 cages. When she saw him, she was angry, very angry, and she scolded him and spat at him. But she could not come within 2 paces of him. He paid her no mind and went to look at the cages with the birds. But there were many hundreds of nightingales. How was he to know which one was his Jorinda? But just then he saw the old woman take a cage with a nightingale and head to the door. Quickly he sprang towards her and touched the flower to the cage and also the old woman. The spell was broken. The witch could no longer bewitch anyone. And there was his Jorinda, with her hands clasped around his neck, and she was as beautiful as ever. And all the birds were changed into maidens again. And Joringle went home with Jorinda, and they lived happily together for a long time. Sail away, silver boat, on the waters gently float, through the magic moonlit veil, without an oar, so big and round, that shines on the boat that is homeward bound. Back to the harbor, safe and sound, from its sail on the silvery sea.